Hey guys, so today I thought I would draw another Kaeya, and then my next video is actually gonna be a Diluc. It might take me a while to color that one too, but this is a pretty long video because all the detail and stuff for the outfits of Genshin characters usually take quite a while to color in. The drawing process wasn't that bad actually because I learned how to draw Kaeya before. So yeah, it's more so like the details and stuff for coloring are just a bit more difficult just because the amount of like different accessories and stuff that they normally have in the game. So yeah, so for Kaeya, I am starting off with a base that's very light. I do admit this is like my base color for any skin tone, but I'm gonna gradually add more shading as we go because Kaeya actually has a more tan complexion than any other character. He's supposed to be like way darker than them, but he's not like super dark, I would say. He's more like this dark tan color, and that's basically it. So I'm gonna try to like go forth. So if anyone's wondering why I'm making him like white first, it's because it's a base, and then when you add more shading, it gets darker from there. So yeah, I wanted to layer the colors and everything. I basically drew him. So the inspiration behind this drawing was honestly a picture that my friend showed me of fan art. It was literally Master Zhongli as a dragon. In a similar pose. I have to say I changed how the fingers and like the right hand is. The left hand I tried to keep the same way, but the left arm I tried to keep the same way. However, it's more like the way they drew the Master Zhongli. I have to say like his left shoulder is more flatter and it's just like straight up like curved. As for me, I'm kind of the angle that I drew it at was more like upwards. So I have to say there was a bit of a difference between the poses that I was drawing and the reference that I was looking at because I couldn't get the angle right to begin with. Also, like the first time I drew Kaeya with this pose, his arm was like very small. The arm, like the left arm, is supposed to be closer to your perspective. So I actually accidentally drew it really small and then I had to go back and like extend it longer so that way it looks like proportionate with his body. So yeah. I kept like the pointy ear thing because Master Zhongli, they drew him as like a dragon, so he had a pointy ear. But I wanted to draw originally Kaeya as like a dragon horse because honestly, he's a calvary captain, so I wanted something to do with like horses. But then my friend said to do like a peacock because his constellation is actually named after like a peacock. So it was kind of like this whole debate on what type of animal I should make Kaeya. So I decided I kept like the dragon aspect of the tail, but I put on peacock feathers instead of like regular scales. Um, the one thing that I forgot to add in this drawing before anyone points it out is literally I did not put on his earring. I actually noticed I didn't put it on until after I colored in his hair. So I was like, okay, it's too late now, I guess, because his hair is already colored in, so I can't color in like the gold and stuff. So yeah, so I decided to just keep it out anyways, and yeah. For his smile, I felt like the Master Zhongli smile was very like it wasn't a smile, it was more of like this serious expression with his tongue sticking out. But I wanted Kaeya to have more of a mischievous smile because it fits in line with his character more. Kaeya is more of like this playful type that likes to tease you a lot. So I decided to do that. Definitely I liked drawing the smile. Like, I don't know, like every time I draw Kaeya, it's more like, oh, you get to play with the expressions of like him being like super smiley and happy and teasing all the time. As for like other characters that are more serious, like Diluc, I end up having to play with the fact that he looks serious, like very serious all the time. So yeah. For Kaya's hair, I did keep a few parts lighter, but that's just so that way there's more shading going on. I know his hair is supposed to be like way darker, but I tried my best to shade it so that way it looks pretty and nice. And actually, like, I was trying to improve my shading, so yeah. I will say, like, when you draw the base of the character first, like the pose, and then you add the hair is always like making the head look more like head bigger. So literally when I added his hair, it kind of added a little bit of more height to his head, I would say. But it's super cute. I love how his hair is like swoopy, and then there's two like spricks on his head always. I feel like Genshin characters always have that, like one or two like swoops of hair like just on their head. It's super cute, and at the same time, like, I don't know. A lot of the characters have that to the point where it's like, okay, every character has that. Um, but I do like how his hair is like super long, but he has a thinner ponytail, which is more, I don't know. It reminds me more of like the Chinese movies. If you watch like the older Chinese dramas and stuff like that, there's a lot of characters that actually have like longer hair like that, but it's normally either braided or very thin ponytail. It's not like a big ponytail. I would say Master Diluc is like an exception to that because his ponytail is like super voluminous, and there's like a lot of like layers to his hair. So yeah. As for Kaya, he kind of feels like they went for like a Chinese hairstyle, honestly. But MiHoYo is a Chinese company, so yeah, it makes sense. Um, if you hear any notifications, it's because my tablet notifications is on. So yeah, when I'm filming, so yeah, um, I really liked shading in his hair, to be honest. I decided, because when I first drew his hair and then I shaded it, like I started with a light color and I thought it was too light, so I actually added dark blue everywhere. This time I decided to do like an actual shading process, so that way it's not covering up all his lighter base that I started with. And to be honest, I think it looks nicer this way, so that way it looks like I'm actually shading in the hair rather than just having like, a dark hair and that's it. Also, in between drawing, like the beginning portion of my drawing, I have to admit I did go outside to watch a movie. I watched the Bullet Train movie, which is really good. But anyways, that's why it got super dark randomly in some of my clips, because to be fairly honest, it turned to nighttime. Like when I went to watch the movie, it was like supposed to be 6:20, and then when I got home it was like around 9 or 10, and literally I was just like trying to finish up the drawing. But to be honest, that's why like the lighting started getting like a bit darker. So if you see more shadows and it's not that bright in the video, it's because the lighting from my window has changed because the sunlight. I decided to keep Kaya's eye patch in this. Anyways, I was asking my friend, oh, what outfit I should I draw Kaya in for this one? And he was like, just the regular. And I was like, okay. Um, the thing with drawing the regular outfits is that it's very like there's so much detail. So again, you're gonna hear me say this in like every Genshin video, but there's so many accessories that they wear, so many details and patterns to their actual clothing that it actually takes a while to draw. It's not like a super simple like drawing with like a collared shirt. It's literally you have characters with collared shirts and they have like different prints on them. So yeah, I do appreciate the fact that all of this is like in the game too, so it's like animated as well. So you can see all of the details, and like the characters are 3D models in the game. So, I do appreciate the fact that they did do a lot of detailed work for the animations and stuff like that, because literally like the whole patterns and everything for the character, it's kind of like the amount of artwork that has to go into like designing these characters, it must have taken a lot. So yeah, for the outfits, I literally went by coloring like the specific colors in first. So like gold and then blue. I decided to do like the specific colors rather than just color in, oh, I'm gonna color in the shirt first and then the pants, is because there was so much like different parts to it. Like for example, there's so much gold lining to Kaeya's outfit, and then there's random blues on different parts. So I tried to do, okay, what part has what color first, and then just go by that. Usually though, for my drawings, you'll notice I do color in the shirts first and then I go for the pants. But for this one, it was a bit different just because of all the details and stuff, and that's basically how I ended up doing like most of my Genshin drawings, like when I started drawing Genshin characters. So yeah, there are new characters coming out, so I don't know if I will draw them. I remember saying at some point I would stop because there was so much like detail. It's kind of like a bit overwhelming every time I draw them, but to be honest, it is a good challenge, so I might draw some of them. There are some characters that I saw that I liked, but yeah, I don't know. The pulling and everything for characters. Um, I don't like to spend like money on like pulling for characters. It's literally if I have enough primo gems and I get the character that I like, then fine. If I don't get it, then I have to wait for the reruns, and that's basically me. But it's just a way to have like more control over saving money rather than just constantly pulling for characters. So he's supposed to be holding some sort of crystal or rock. I'm just gonna say I did not figure out what he was holding, so I just made it white for like the entire time as I was coloring it, as I was coloring the drawing. So if you guys are curious, I'm just gonna say it's either snow or ice at this point, because I'm pretty sure I don't remember what like I don't think Kaeya uses many like besides the cryo crystals. I don't know what, I forgot the name of them, but yeah, but there are blue crystals that he uses to level up, I believe. Besides that, there's nothing really else that I remember that he could possibly like. But yeah, I originally was gonna give him the calla lilies because he really likes those flowers, but then I decided to keep it as like a gemstone because why not? Because I thought it would look nice, and I already drew him with it anyways, so I thought it would be kind of a hassle to like change it. And the fact that there is like so much detail in his clothing already and having the flower in front of it might have been like a bit too much, so I decided not to have it like that. I'm going to admit a lot of the blues that I have did not match his like the top part. Some people call it a corset, but it's literally the top part of his jacket that's on his chest area. It's more of a pastel blue color, but I don't have any color that's like that. So I use like the lightest colors, lightest blues that I had, but honestly, it's not super accurate, but it's close enough, as in you can tell there's different details. It's just not as accurate as I would have liked it to be. Again, like I'm going off of like the touch markers that I have, so there's a lot of pastel colors that I did not get yet because they're not in the set that I have. There's supposed to be another box of touch markers which I was planning to buy. I purchased one of them that had more like skin tones because I thought that was more important. Um, Actually, I think the one that I bought was more so like the color ones, and then there's supposed to be one with more skin tones, which I was supposed to buy, but it is like around $100 per set, so it is kind of expensive, so I have to wait for enough money for that. But yeah, um, right now I make do with what I have, and then I just like rebuy markers that I have, like that I need to get. I know you can do refills, but the problem is with refilling like these markers is you have to take like the nibs apart and then put in the refills and stuff like that. But to be honest, I just went the lazy route and purchased new ones. The reason why I do this too is because I don't want ink lying around in my room. I have a lot of like collectibles and stuff, so I don't have like a separate art room. I just draw in my actual room. So because of that, I'm like very cautious about like what I purchase. If it's something that's gonna make a mess, I can't really do it in my room. So yeah, but I just, for art, it's whatever I can do without making like minimal messes as possible, so that way I can clean up my space. I also only have like a very small table that I work on, so doing them refills, I don't know. When I saw them, people were like using towels and everything. I was like, okay, maybe I'll do that when I have like a bigger desk for art, but not right now. Um, for Kaeya's hand pose, I wanted to do something mischievous. Um, Honestly, I brought his arm closer to his face, so that's why it's different from the reference that I chose. Um, but I thought it was super fun to just play around with like his personality and his pose at the same time. I really like his gloves a lot. They're like super detailed and they have like this punk aesthetic. It's just they're fingerless gloves, which not a lot of characters actually have in the game. He's like, I don't know which other characters actually wear fingerless gloves, to be honest. It's normally just Kaeya that I hear about. But I haven't been paying attention to like other characters in terms of that. Most characters though, like Diluc and Zhongli, it's like regular gloves that are covering their fingers. So yeah. His outfit is super pretty because it's supposed to be like a pirate outfit. He is a cavalry captain though. Here's the thing, they never show horses in the game. I mean, they show like carriages like outside on the floor, but they don't on the ground, but they don't really show any horses at all. But I've heard, like, I've seen small panels from the actual manga. I have not read the manga at all, by the way, because I've been super busy with work and stuff. But basically, when I see like the panels for the manga, there are horses in their world. It's just in the game for some reason they didn't bother to add them. So it's kind of like it's something I'd like to see in the game, but I don't know. Maybe they're not going to add them at all. They do have different animals like boars and birds and fish in the game, like animated, but I don't know how it is like in terms of like why they didn't add horses, because like Kaeya's a cavalry captain, yet he doesn't ride a horse in the game, so it's kind of weird. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I guess that's how they did it. Um, but yeah, I also noticed a lot of people like there's a special quest event where you have to go to the Golden Arc, like that place, that island place. I forgot the name. But anyways, you have to go there, and then there's a quest where you can match up with like random people, because you need like 4 people to play that quest, that special event, and literally everyone is playing 5 stars every time I match up with people, and I'm just playing with Kaeya. I don't know. I feel like any character is good as long as you're able to like customize them with like the artifacts and stuff to be like according to your play style, what feels right when you're playing. A lot of people are like, oh, you have to have 5 star characters. For me, it's like, yeah, but I use Aether as well, and he's not really necessarily a 5 star character. He's just the free character that you get in the beginning, and he's the main character as well. And then Kaeya is also a free character that you get. I feel like, some people just underestimate like 4 star characters and like the lesser characters, especially the ones that you get for free. But I really like playing with them, so yeah. I'm just shading some of the white parts on Kaeya's outfit, to be honest. I just wanted to add some shading because originally, I don't know why I wasn't going to put any shading. I thought it was fine, and then I was like, no, I need shading. For his feather boa, which is that like thing, that fluffy thing he wraps around his right shoulder, I decided to just shade it with gray instead of blue. The first time I actually drew him, I shaded it with blue. But I thought it looked a little bit like cheesy when I did that, so honestly, I just shaded with that. For his tail, I added these these peacock feathers. Um, I didn't really go into that much detail when drawing or coloring them, to be honest. I just went with like, okay, this is how I'm gonna color it, and that's it, because I wanted the main focus to be on him, but he does have like a big tail that I put on his back, so yeah. They normally do not have animal tails at all, unless they're specific characters like Goru, which is a dog, and then there's like some cat people like Diona, but Kaeya is not supposed to be like that. I decided to draw him with this though, because I thought it would make him look pretty. Also, I wanted to go for like that dragon look, like because of the reference that I was going off of, which was Master Zhongli, but I decided to go and do this. So yeah. It was kind of difficult because originally I was gonna turn this into like actual peacock tail by itself. So it has like, it's kind of like sticks. Like when you look at their tail, it's just like this fan. But I don't know how that would translate onto his body, and I wanted it to flow nicely, so that's why it ended up looking like a dragon tail with peacock feathers on it. So yeah, I just kept it like that. And now I'm not shading, I am outlining in his hair and everything. Honestly, this drawing turned out really nice. Took me a while though. It was like when I put all the clips together, it was like an hour long of like coloring and outlining, and it's just, I was trying to focus really hard and finish it like super fast, so that's why it took me like I want to say that's why like I was going through it, and it only took me an hour, so it's not that bad, but there's so much detail you can tell. Normally for coloring it takes me 30 minutes to 40 minutes depending on like the drawing, but for Genshin characters it takes me like around 30 to 30 minutes to an hour, just because the amount of like different colors and different shading for colors you have to do. Like for the blue, you have to shade it differently from like the blacks and the grays and stuff like that. So there's the different colors. Also, like drawing his face in this angle was kind of weird because normally like it's hard to draw like sideways views of characters. Like it's kind of at an angle where it's almost sideways. So yeah, it's not really like a profile of the character. So yeah, but overall I think it looks nice. I did my best to like outline it in a way that like, you know, the feathers of his like boa, and then also for his tail too, that it looks like it's really like fluffy and stuff like that. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be leaving a link in the description box below to my social medias. You can go like and follow those. If you do, you get to see all like my posting and my process work. I'll definitely post this one. I am still on like posting older drawings though, so it might take a while. That's just me. Honestly, there was so many drawings that I have like saved up that I'm supposed to be posting, but I haven't gotten to it yet. So hopefully I'll get there soon. But yeah, I've been posting like at least one drawing process per day, so that way at least you guys can see photos of it. Um, but yeah, that's it. I'm outlining his belt and then like his tiny star accessories that he has for his like outfit. And then his tail. His tail's super pretty though. I think it matches his personality. So yeah. I also do some outlining on the feathers, which I wasn't planning on doing to like at the beginning, but I thought I could add like more detail by doing that and giving it more texture rather than it just being like a straight up like mass of color that I drew. So yeah. Okay, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Click down in the description box below if you want to see my social media. It's all there, and I'll be posting process work of him. I definitely really love this drawing. My next one will be D-Luke. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!